Hey everyone. So I felt inspired to do a response video to all this stuff that's happening out there. YouTube seems to be exploding with all these videos now in response to Jim Little's controversial video about comparing that knee preamp with his Focusrite interface and basically showing that they sound the same and there's no need for a expensive mic preamp. And I guess the sort of consensus or everything I'm seeing is like, are all preamps the same? You know, or do they all sound the same? And I guess I saw that video. I don't know if it was the day it came out, but it was a few days ago. And well, I had a few feelings after watching it. Number one was like, wow, hands down, that could have been one of the most involved videos on YouTube in terms of the amount of work that was put into it and all his testing and setting up. And yeah, I mean, congrats on such a well-produced video in that sense. And then I thought, I guess I wasn't surprised that they sound the same because essentially you got these two preamps that are designed when recording in normal recording situations, you know, normal loud kind of levels, normal music, whatever you want to call it. Both these preamps are designed to basically amplify the sound of the microphone to a usable level. And they're both designed to do that very cleanly and in a linear way through our human hearing, you know, through the frequency range. So when you're recording decent level vocals, instruments, drums, whatever, like, you know, louder kind of source material, I would expect that they would kind of be the same because that's how they're designed. And then the general question, are all preamps the same? I mean, I think most engineers and producers and such, I mean, I've been recording music for the last 30 plus years now, and I would say absolutely not. They're not the same. I mean, it's like, are all synthesizers the same? Are all microphones the same? No, they all have their characteristics. It could even come down to the way you use them, their reliability, their the way they help you get a sound predictably. I mean, I've used so many different mic preamps over the years, just specifically talking about preamps now, again. They are, I mean, yeah, there's just so many different characters and different uses for them, and the way you combine them with different microphones, the way you might drive them hard, or how you might use them to record something that's a very quiet source. In fact, that was one thing I thought after watching, because if you were to compare those two preamps recording something very quiet, it might be quite a different result. Of course, not everyone is doing that, but I thought it'd be fun to record the birds, the sound of nature out in my forest. So actually I hooked up a ribbon mic, sort of a custom made ribbon mic a friend made for me quite a long time ago. And I used two different preamps to just record the sound of the forest outside. The first preamp being the same one in that video. It's a Focusrite Scarlett preamp on the Scarlett interface. And the second one, also Focusrite, I thought it'd be interesting. I used my Focusrite ISA preamp in my ISA 428, which is the ISA 110, kind of famous Rupert Neve designed Focusrite, which I quite like a lot. I use it a lot. It's I think of it as a high-end, really nice preamp. So I'll show you this. Well, I'll show you a image of my forest and then the two sounds. Because when you're recording something really quiet, and I'm more, I'm not gonna say expensive, but I'm more deluxe or better quality preamp will enable you to get more gain with less noise and still have a good sound. So, I mean, the quietest thing that I can think of to record is nature. I don't know if you've done it before, but you know, you really notice the noise in your preamps when you're trying to like record birds and stuff like that. So what I did notice first of all is that, I cranked both the preamps. So I did this. Both of them were cranked completely full as far as I could go because I needed to do that. Afterwards, I had to gain up the Scarlett preamp an additional 22 decibels just to match where the ISA was able to amplify the mic to match. But I basically level matched the bird. That's the similar bird that was making it sound. But you'll hear the sound. I mean, there's just so much more noise, and the quality's less in the Scarlett. Now, of course, who's recording birds in the forest for their music? Probably nobody. But I just wanted to, show that, because it is something I noticed watching that video, that there was no talk of, using a preamp to actually use a lot of gain, which you might be doing if you're using a ribbon mic in a quiet situation. I mean, I've done that countless times over the years, producing albums where I might record someone whispering a really soft vocal 5 feet away from the microphone in a tiled bathroom or something, for instance, or really soft acoustic guitar thing with a ribbon mic, or maybe even just like gently rubbing the top of a snare drum with your fingertips, or there's lots of cool textures and sounds you can get with really quiet things. And I would say I'm not doing any scientific tests here, but I would say you would also get differences in the sounds when you're driving the preamps harder as well. But anyways, I was just talking about the quiet stuff. But the whole point of me making this video, that was a really long preamble, is like, yes, I feel like there's differences in preamps. I feel like there's differences in microphones, for sure. There are differences in plugins. There's differences in synthesizers. There's differences in tape recorders. I mean, there's differences in all this gear, but like, what's the big question is, does it matter? Like, if we're going to just ask the question, what matters when you're making music, when you're producing music, when you're basically creating music to present to other people, or even for yourself. I mean, I make a lot of music just because I want to hear it myself. So what is that all about? What's the music for? It's really to have an emotional response, to feel inspired by what you're hearing, to be creative. So I would argue that none of it really matters except the actual music. So like, push all this other stuff aside, all the gear, and like, what's really important are the performances, the music you're creating, the ideas, the creativity. You could record. This is the point I guess I'm trying to get across. You could record the best music possible, the greatest performance ever performed, like amazing musicians, and use the shittiest of gear, let's just say, and the music would still be amazing. On the flip side, you could use the best gear you could ever money, the best gear money could ever buy, the best studio, everything, the best. Just imagine like the greatest collection of gear you could get together, microphones, preamps, all that stuff, and then record super shitty music, and it's not going to help. It's still that the music's going to be as shitty as it sounded in the space. So it's like, what it comes down to is, it doesn't matter what you have. You could have really budget gear, budget instruments, whatever. I think the music is what matters, and of course, all these tools along the way will help achieve those goals. Certainly, yeah, a lot of tools will help you do certain things, but at some point, the tools can also get in your way. I am as guilty as everybody else for gear acquisition syndrome, or like always like, oh my god, if I had that new synth I just watched on that video, oh my god, if I just had that synth, I could make like the greatest music. Or if I had that, oh, look at that ribbon mic they just advertised, like that's just the great. Or that reverb, like this new reverb plugin, oh my god, I need to get that, because then my music's gonna be great. It's sort of like, it's a never ending pursuit of like these things that you need. I guess you could say it's the same as life, like the grass is greener, like, oh, if I only had this house, or I had this car, if I had those cool shoes, if I had that girlfriend or whatever, you know, like there's always more you can have. But in terms of music, it's always going to come down to like the music. So I think all of us should try to remove some of this noise from the equation and like just concentrate on making great music. And you don't need the greatest of tools, the most expensive stuff. You know, I think we're blessed to be in the age where we are, where there's so many amazing musical technology tools available to us for, you know, not that expensive, and pretty good quality for the money you spend nowadays. I think, you know, back 30, 40 years ago, you probably had to spend a lot more money to get, and, you know, really good quality tools, but there's so much out there now. So yeah, I hope I didn't ramble on too long, but I guess the bottom line, what I really wanted to get across in this video is like, there's so much talk out there. Oh, this is better than this. This is better than this. Let's do this comparison. You know, a lot of times the differences are so minimal. Like, oh, this synth does this synth does this. They're all tools to make music. So let's just make the music. And yeah, thanks for watching.